Okay, so is that... Hey, look at that!
Hey, they put
As
Tulsi
soon as the
Gabbard
debate
together.
ended, Tulsi and Yang turned and shook hands.
Oh,
while
and then
Kamala
look.
blew him off to go hang out. Gillibrand and eyebrows. Okay. Yang pulled him.
Look at her. They're fraternity sisters that secretly hate each other.
Yeah, and Yang getting some Joe Biden love, and Jay Inslee's like, hey, remember me?
Yeah.
But Biden, I'm telling you, I think Biden actually does like a lot of Andrew Yang's ideas. There's a story that at the last debate he pulled him aside, and
honestly,
he just went over to him. He hugged Kamala and then walked right over to Yang and shook his hand. You know?
Like, there's a lot of things that I disagree with Biden on, and I think he's kind of sold out in a lot of ways. But at the end of the day,
okay, you're right, Mark. You said that.
I think his heart is good. You know, I don't like how people attack Biden so much, and I'm not even a Biden fan. I know a lot of people say you should never stop your political opponents from committing suicide, but it does kind of bother me just as a lay viewer to see all of these Democrats who've done nothing but praise Biden and or need Biden for favors all of a sudden just attacking him. It makes me look like they're willing to sacrifice some kind of personal integrity for just for political gain. You know, it doesn't attract me as a voter.
1 second, sorry. I'm trying to pull up the Yang 2020 traffic info because his website's loading really slow right now. I want to see if we can actually see it happen. I got to turn this down. I'm sorry. 1 second, guys.
And 2 CNN political commentators, both former governors, Jennifer Granholm of Michigan and Terry McAuliffe.
We'll get the CNN roundtable discussion on.
Oh, and there's Van Jones.
Yeah, whatever.
Can't do a segment without Van Jones.
One of their stars, you know. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I could pull this thing up and get a better view of the Yang 2020. Because I have on stream right now for you guys. You can clearly see who spoke the most. I mean, no surprise, right? Like, it's exactly what you expected. Harris got time to attack Biden. Biden had to talk more because he was defending himself. Excuse me. Cory Booker and Gillibrand stuck their nose into everything. Everyone else got about an equal share, and then Andrew Yang got shafted. So basically what you would expect. I would say Tulsi got to talk more than I think people would have expected. I think part of that came from her very pointed attack on Kamala Harris that led to the only spike in interest of Kamala Harris in search results that we saw. And this is funny. You look at after those closing remarks and pull up the search results again, and Andrew Yang, I mean, just exploded as far as.
Can we compare that with somebody else besides?
Yeah. Well, 1 second.
Kamala Harris. Can we compare that with Kirsten Gillibrand, who also mentioned her website?
I want to put one more thing up if I can. Dang. I do not know how to read this website enough. Otherwise, I'd like to show you the search interest. So yes, we'll go back to the search interest for here. What candidate?
Kirsten Gillibrand.
Oh, actually, last time I tried to look, it broke the Yeah, you can't. It won't let you look.
It won't let you look. Can we do just Kirsten Gillibrand?
I don't know.
Okay, there's Andrew Yang.
Hold on. So here's talk time. I do want to see if I can pull one more thing up, though. I want to see if I can get that site info for you guys really quick. Because Harris was just an idiot. Harris had a really weird performance where we brought it up. If you guys weren't with us at the time, when they were talking about immigration and crime and the legal system in the jails, all of a sudden, despite Kamala, you look at Kamala Harris and you think, why did Kamala Harris speak 4 minutes less than Joe Biden? I swear to God, Kamala Harris spoke 4 minutes less than Joe Biden because she was ducking every question about law and order and immigration. So she basically just couldn't talk for about 5 minutes. About 6 minutes there, she couldn't say a word. Actually, maybe even longer, close to 10 minutes. Because I remember, if you guys were here, I had a picture of her arm in arm with ICE agents smiling, just waiting for her to address ICE on stage, and she didn't. She just wasn't speaking for minutes and minutes and minutes. And that really explains the gap. So if you look and you say, oh, well, Biden spoke like 4 minutes more than Harris. He did, but that was because Harris was ducking questions on immigration and crime and prosecution the entire time. She basically just didn't say anything. It was really weird. If you were to go back and rewatch the debate, you'll just notice all of a sudden. If you were to watch it in reverse, I guess I could say, it'd be like she's this active participant, and then all of a sudden she just drops out. She's nowhere to be found. That's
Yeah,
where
they
she was,
protect her.
ducking.
It's because they are protecting.
Well, she also
her.
ducked. She didn't come in and say anything either. So yeah, both ways. They didn't ask her
What
to
is
say.
their fashion? I don't get. What is this? What is the fascination with Kamala Harris?
I don't get it.
Is it really just like they think that Barack Obama was good because he's black, and if we can just have a black female president?
No, I don't think.
No, there was so much. I remember
That
CNN.
sounds crazy.
No, I remember CNN running stories talking about how I remember they highlighted a story of this grandfather who was walking his son to the polling booth or something like that, and he said, "How could I ever tell my grandson I did not vote for America's first black president or for the first major black candidate?" And there's this overwhelming thought that identity politics has gotten so bad that it's no longer even just thinking, oh, based upon their skin color, they're bad. It's this strange thought that they will be good. That because they're a female, they will be good. Or because they're black, they will be good. And it's great. I don't want people thinking negatively because of somebody's skin color. But shouldn't the president be a meritocracy and we push the candidates with the best ideas?
Well, voters do.
Instead of the best identity?
Well, I think we do, and that's why Obama won twice. Because no one cared. That you could just kind of throw the racial thing out. I hear what you're saying a little bit. There was a little bit of kind of like, I think in a lot of ways, people thought like, I like Obama anyway, and cool, I get to be part of voting for the first black president in U.S. history. It's like I'm helping make history voting for a candidate I like anyway. I think people like that.
I get the first black president.
That is true. Andrew's the color.
Look, I totally get the first black president thing.
Forget about Obama though.
But do you really think what is their rubric for thinking Kamala Harris? It can't be based off the best ideas.
It can't
because she's imprisoned more black people. You just saw her idea for the student loan forgiveness, and even Kyle Kalinske on Secular Talk.
That was really bad.
Is lampooning this. I can't think of a flagship idea of hers that is revolutionary. Whereas at least you can think of flagship ideas of other candidates. Okay, Joe Biden has been part of flagship ideas because he's been in Washington D.C. for 70 years. But Andrew Yang's got the freedom dividend. Even Michael Bennett has his rural health plan. You can think of ideas when you think of these candidates, and you can't think of anything with Kamala Harris besides identity. Identity.
No, I'm
tired of that.
I think there's also a little bit they look at. I think Harris just kind of has the I'm trying to think of the best word of putting it, but she's paid her dues enough where they say we trust her enough to be our spokesperson. I think it's more that they trust her. Now, if they trust her, they trust her judgment, or they just trust that that her decisions will align with theirs. I don't know, but I think it's a trust thing. That's what I think it is.
No, it's definitely true that the trust factor has to be
They're
huge.
so obviously this entire thing has been set up. Like I said, dude, they let Kamala avoid the most difficult thing. Tulsi brought it up anyway.
They completely protected her from her back.
She literally didn't have to talk about. Well, dude, she didn't. They talked about immigration for 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes, and she didn't say a word. Really?
Look,
I wonder why the person who spoke second most didn't say one word when you're talking about an issue that didn't benefit her. So, and then right now, again, they're saying right now, everyone's just going up here. All the classic CNN 9 talking heads on camera at once, going, yeah, so Joe Biden lost, and Kamala Harris won. It is kind of starting to look a little bit like, can you guys just say that we endorse? Can you just donate money to Kamala Harris already and get it over with? And I was waiting for Kamala when they asked something about Kamala almost slipped up when they asked her, do you think the president should be prosecuted? She almost said that I've prosecuted people. I've thrown people in jail for less. She's like, I've seen people thrown in jail for less by myself. I've thrown people in jail for less. So that I thought was funny. I don't know.
Well, I just don't understand. See, look, if you're a Fox News executive and you're emotionally interested in the Republicans doing better, I could see why you might protect Donald Trump on a debate stage full of a bunch of other Republicans from questions about grabbing women by the blank. Okay? I could see that.
That's not good.
Yeah, because you might want to protect him from it. You might want to ask some other candidates some other things so that when they're fighting each other, good old Donald Trump isn't, getting affected. And then you might go home and justify that dereliction of your journalistic duty by saying, you know what? I believe there's more freedom of speech, and that's important for journalists now under Donald Trump, so I will forgive X. Or I look at the economy and how much better my business is doing, so even as Don Lemon says, I'm willing to prioritize the, quote, economy over his bigotry. what's CNN's?
Hey, Van Jones just shouted at Andrew Yang. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, what's CNN's?
He just fanboyed over him.
Did he? What did he say?
Oh, they were talking about who performed well, and he was saying that he thought that, I believe he was speaking about Kamala Harris did very well, and then he said, and Andrew Yang. And Andrew Yang was great. I love Andrew Yang. So Andrew Yang is a way of winning people over. We were actually talking about this individual earlier. An individual's name I just forgot. Oh, my God. Anyway, he recently also was promoting Andrew Yang. I believe someone said the Krasenstein brothers said let Yang speak somewhere on social media. So there's a lot of people out there, Nicolas Cage famously. There's a lot of people out there that really like hearing more from Yang, like seeing more from Yang. And I think even Van Jones had to say, hey, you know what? This is cool. We got, like Andrew Yang performed well. And again, he barely got to speak, though. That's the thing that just, I think part of it is, honestly, I do think his temperament and his strategy will lend to him speaking less than other candidates. But just being, clear in a way, the least amount of talk time and then not having questions asked to him. I get the point. Like, honestly, like I said, we look at it from the perspective of being pro Andrew Yang because we like Andrew Yang. But I can see from the perspective of CNN, like, here's a candidate we don't really believe in. We don't really think will go far. We don't want to really give him a lot of time if we don't have to. So if he's not going to speak up, he's not going to speak up, and that's that. I disagree with it, but, I can see them making that point. I disagree with it.
But I think Cory Booker won this debate, and he won it.
Cory Booker won the debate? Really? Anyone in chat agree with that? And this isn't to say Cory Booker was, like, awful. I just didn't think he stood out as the winner of the debate. I would not agree. Hey, Whoopi Goldberg also was the same thing. Yeah, I don't agree with that Cory Booker was the winner of the debate.
Where's Cory Booker going?
Backstage. They're going to ask some questions. But I don't think he won. Honestly, this is a tough debate, I would say, to really give a clear-cut winner to. Andrew Yang performed well when he got a chance to speak. He didn't get a lot of time to speak. Tulsi Gabbard made some good points. I thought her closing statement, to be I did not really understand the direction she was coming from. It was like...
Oh, I was powerfully impacted when she said this is the warmongers hoax.
Yeah, but she's like, but it's like, whoa, okay, I guess I don't want to get nuked, but like, what are you talking about?
I liked Tulsi Gabbard's.
Okay, so we disagree on that.
I don't like it when they just constantly rip on Trump, though, because it's just wasted speech, in my opinion. It's like, I'm so...
Yeah, again,
it's like the term
Donald
racist.
Trump. Like, really, are you kidding me? You start Donald Trump, you can't get one word in. Like,
well, it's like the
on.
term racist. Every single day of my life...
Tulsi did Decimate Harris, that is true.
Yeah. Every single day of my life, in one way or another, I've been insinuated, called, or slandered as racist. Just because I'm white and I'm willing to engage in speech and politics. And it's just gotten to a point now where racist just means left of Bernie or right of Bernie Sanders. That's just what it means. Racist now doesn't mean anything other than I disagree with you and I don't know how to express it, but I'm angry because my worldview that orange man bad, white man bad has been threatened. Therefore, I will emotionally lash out with what I think is the scariest and meanest and ultimately really one of the cruelest things politically you could say about somebody and call them racist.
But I don't think but that wasn't the story of tonight's debate. Refreshingly, it was spoken about, but it didn't dominate the story.
No, I'm just
thought
saying
that was refreshing.
Complaining about Trump nowadays is like
it's kind of
calling a Republican racist. It's just it's the boy who's cried wolf.
Not kind of. It literally is. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, but it's the boy who cried wolf. It's like I'm sorry that slander.
Well, hold on. Do you guys want to hear who NBC thought won the debate?
Who did NBC think won? Buttigieg.
Oh,
who wasn't even on stage? Donald Trump. They think Donald Trump won.
No, but this is interesting. I want to show you guys this. So according to NBC, they looked at and they said, let me find if I can find this graph. Ooh, here we go. Who was attacked the most? Again, this goes back to my point that no one likes Bill de Blasio. Bill de Blasio barely spoke. He's polling way at the bottom. And Bill de Blasio was attacked as much as corporations in general will. Nobody likes Bill de Blasio, man. Protesters were, by the way, for people who missed the beginning of the debate, protesters were literally at the debate protesting against Bill de Blasio. So I don't know what it is. These people really do not like Bill de Blasio. Well, not these people. People in general. I don't like him. I guess you guys don't like him. Protesters don't like him. He was attacked as much as corporations in general were attacked at the debates, which is hilarious to me. Donald Trump, of course, was attacked.
But this right here, guys,
twice anyone else.
I'm sorry. I hate to say this, but on air, I predict a landslide of Donald Trump.
Oh, wait, 1 second.
Simply because he's living rent-free in their heads. Look at this graph. Here are measurable quantifiers. Here is science proving if the number one attack is Donald Trump, to that agree by everybody. I'm sorry, Richard Nixon said it so well, and it hasn't changed. When there is a movement against X, I bet on X. When there is a movement against Donald Trump and you can't do anything other than attack him, so much so that he is by that margin the biggest attack of the night, it shows you do not have substantive claims that are going to prove you're a better alternative.
Well,
I'm sorry, but this a great performance for Andrew Yang. I think, well, I would say good performance by Andrew Yang, good performance by Tulsi Gabbard. Horrible for the Democrats as a whole.
No, but did you see, this is something very interesting to me. I don't know if you noticed this, if you take a look at those numbers.
What?
Who didn't get attacked once in the whole debate?
Oh, yeah, Andrew Yang.
And the
Technically,
rules,
our Inslee friend didn't.
both of them, yeah, but the rules state that if you are attacked, you have the right to defend yourself. Well, that's the reason why Andrew Yang spoke less than anyone else. He was never challenged on anything and never, which is so weird to me. Maybe that's the downside of having good ideas, is you never get challenged on them because people just say, that's a good idea, I'm not going to throw my hat into that one. Maybe that's what happened to him. He just didn't, people were like, he just doesn't get to talk time. Like, it's weird to me, but the numbers don't lie, man. Andrew Yang attacked the least. Andrew Yang, least amount of talk time. Same thing. Like, they don't lie.
I love what he said about we have a reality show electorate now, and that's why we have a reality show candidate. This was a farcical performance. I'm sorry. It was just absolute farcical. I know political comedians and improv artists that would literally, if they were making fun of the Democrat Party and trying to caricature the Democrat Party, would have put on a show that sounded very similar to what we just saw.
Well, but this, unlike the first debate where they had these really weird moments where, like, everyone rose their hands for healthcare for illegal immigrants, who were just like, why? I guess I don't even care what the question is. Everyone rose their hand, like, so I guess it was pointless asking the question. Then it was really weird. Like, there was no moment like that in this debate, but there was also no big moment from anyone in this debate where I went like Andrew Yang did a good closing statement. You like Tulsi's closing statement. I found it bizarre. I thought Tulsi attacking Kamala Harris, that was a pretty good moment, but there really wasn't that many moments where I was like, oh, okay, wow, this is like a real line of thought they're going down. It was kind of just like they wasted 40 minutes beginning of the debate, back and forth arguing over whose version of Medicare for all will work best, without any real like data or numbers brought up. Just like, well, my opponents wouldn't even offer X. Well, my opponents wouldn't offer Y. Well, that's a lie. And it's just like, it was so much of just people proposing the same thing with a slight twist. It just kind of wasted time. I just think it's a bizarre position to run on.
He asked a question. AQI just asked, Twitter followers go up
by a lot. Yes, they went up very high, I believe. That's my Trump answer.
Tim
Very
Nguyen,
much, very high, went up big. But yeah, no, he had a big bump.
Tim Nguyen, our Vietnamese brother, said by 10K.
Yeah, it was a good debate. It was a good debate for him always. I mean, like I said, I have the Google Trends up here, and you can look at the Google Trends for Andrew Yang. I mean, when he talked about go to my website and put in your area code, boom, jumped up. So
wow,
that was really cool.
And look, it stayed higher.
Yeah, the debate was well for him. But again, he was attacked the least and spoke the least. Those numbers obviously have to correlate. His website crashed. I do believe I was hearing that people said his website had to be someone had to jump on help it. Here's some of the CNN highlights. Tulsi was friendly to Biden all week. She attacked Harris, game point to Biden. Yeah, I know. Like I said, like that the healthcare argument, no one was bringing up enough differences in their versions. It was like these slight things.
I'm shocked that you do. I am happy to do that. First of all, Mr. Vice President, it looks like one of us has learned the lessons.
Okay, so now they're showing all the Biden attacks. It's literally it's just like a quick edit of people attacking Joe Biden and him not responding. This is great. Now, yeah, this was just kind of a teardown of Joe Biden. It's just kind of sad to watch, I don't know. I don't like. It doesn't seem like anyone really. Andrew Yang didn't. If Andrew Yang got to speak for 15 minutes, I wonder what he would have said. You know what I mean? But like the people who did speak for a lot of time, dude, there was nothing I heard from any of these people that really inspired me at all. Yeah, I mean, Like, the one thing I like the idea of, and I hope they do this, I heard people talking about the idea of doing a specific debate only on climate change. If only for, we could do that debate on climate change, and then we could all agree we care about the environment, and then just talk about other things in other debates. You know, like, because, dude, wasting 25, 30 minutes on people just all saying, yes, the environment's important, we need to do more. It just takes time away from the debate. There's not one Democrat running who's like, I think climate change is a complete hoax. We should do nothing. We should burn more coal. So, like, why are you, but it's just, it's like they're making people prove, hey, you know, like, you are pro-environment, right? Like, just, yes, everyone running on the Democratic side of the ticket is pro-environment. Every single one of them. So maybe bring up 1 or 2 specific policies, but spending this much time talking about it. It's like almost every candidate supports Medicare for all on some scale. So why does that take up so much time in the debate? Why don't we talk about where the candidates differ? Who is the most cringy in the debate? Gillibrand always comes up to me as most cringy. There was one point where Gillibrand kept coming at Biden, and she kept saying, you wrote this op-ed, and you wrote this op-ed, and you wrote this op-ed. And Joe Biden at the end just said, I literally don't believe anything I said in that op-ed. And it just took Gillibrand's argument and just dumpstered it. It's like, yeah, when you attack a guy in an op-ed from 20 years ago, we could just say, you know what, fine. I have no problem dismissing that. And I thought that was really cringy from Gillibrand. Harris, I guess Harris was like corporate cringe, you know, where you're just kind of like, really, Harris? Really? Like, but yeah, that was it. Also, Joe Biden shutting his mouth the second they asked him to, while it was nice to see, is a little cringe. A little like, come on, Joe. You're front running VP, like just shutting your mouth, like, oh, don't talk right now. It was really weird. Samson Yang did pretty good. He once again, I don't know if it's on screen. Can you guys see it? Yeah, it's on screen. You can see it on the screen. He once again spoke less than anyone else. Cool thing, not cool, but the interesting thing about him speaking less than everyone else, he also was attacked less than anyone else except Jay Inslee, who was attacked 0 times as well. In results, his Google trends went up for him. He did get followers. He did a pretty cool thing for anyone who missed the debate. At the very end of his closing statement, Andrew Yang dropped the go to my website, put in your area code. It's a part of his website where if you put your area code on his website, it basically takes the amount of adults over the age of 18, times that by 1,000, and says, I want to invest this amount of money in your community every month. It's really powerful, and that really helped jump him up. So that was really cool from Yang. Again, because he didn't attack anyone or get attacked, he got very little talk time. That was the other end.
Hey, you know how like Marvel Comics is doing all of this switching now of the gender roles and the skin color of all of, you know, the Marvel comic book heroes and everything like that, you know?
Yes.
I was just thinking, Van Jones is a handsome guy. He's talented. And he's got a big smile. He'd probably be an awesome Hollywood star, and he obviously wants the attention.
Actually, yeah.
Dude, would he not be a sick black Lex Luthor?
Yeah, I think he could just be like
the dude against Superman.
No, yeah,
I would pay money to Van Jones as Lex Luthor, dude.
No, honestly, I wonder if he's ever tried acting. Because you're right. Whenever I see him, like, I remember there was even like a Project Veritas video that leaked of him talking about like the Russia thing. I'm not going to get into that, but it was like a video shot of him like against his permission. And even then, I'm like, he looks like a pretty cool guy. Like, I thought like he looked like a really genuine guy. So I would like to see. Yeah. He's definitely one of the people I like on CNN. But this is for anyone who's watching the CNN post debate. Who won according to NBC? Let's see who they say did win. They're probably gonna say Harris or Biden. Live updates. Let's see. You guys are with me right now. I'm just kind of like live with you guys, going through NBC News, trying to see who won the debate. Biden came out swinging and ducking. I don't know if they've actually said for sure who has won yet according to NBC. I'll let you guys know as soon as I see it, but I don't see an actual first definitive X is who's won. I'm assuming though, like, they're probably gonna say Biden or Harris. That's probably Harris. Harris seems to be that was the plan. Yeah, the Jesse Eisenberg Lex Luthor. Whew, man. Lance Reddick, yeah, Lance Reddick could do it. That'd be a good one. Yeah, that Jesse Eisenberg Lex Luthor, man. I was not a fan of that. That was yeah. Anyway, though, it was the other candidates more time to talk. It was really.
Black Lives Matter had a victory tonight. We're talking about criminal justice.
Oh no way! Really, I missed that. Is that true? Andrew Yang's campaign manager types in our chat. That's funny. I missed that. I feel bad if it's true. I wish I didn't miss it. But yeah, it was. Yeah, well, this was the thing. Okay, there was one point during the debate, and like, I'm not saying it's like conspiratorial. I'm just kind of talking about what we saw during the debate. There was one moment during the debate where coming out of break, Andrew Yang had spoke less than any other candidate. He was near the bottom, right? And it was coming out of a break. You would assume, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm assuming during break they probably look and say, okay, who should we ask a question next, right? Who have we heard from already? Let's just get, everyone involved. We can let the big people speak up. They came out of the break. I figured they would ask Yang a question. They didn't, and then they didn't, and then they didn't, and then they didn't. Minutes passed, and he was suddenly way below, and then they finally asked him one. So he's going to be getting asked questions in a really weird rhythm. I don't know where that came from, but even being center stage, they found a way to crop him out of a lot of images. All of my eyes on Twitter. Last debate, that's where the news broke that he said his mic was cut. I am not very certain. I don't think it was cut. His mic was cut. I just think because he wasn't getting attacked and he wasn't attacking, he did fall to the wayside. So the thing is, I don't want to say like nefarious anything about it. The questions he was asked were a little bit suspect, I thought. He got asked questions about things that really the Reddit's page straw poll. Is it just r/politics? See if I can remember my Reddit enough. Politics.com. That's where I go, right? Politics.com. So it's reddit.com/rpolitics. No, I'm doing this wrong. It's not going to work.
Hey, how you doing, bud? Thanks. Great conversation to listen. Got two very quality people with me. CNN political director David Chalian and
it's /r/ There we go. There we go. So let's see if Andrew Yang was number one on the straw poll for just a discussion thread. Shoot, sorry guys, I really don't know what he's read it very well. I'm trying to see if I can pull up though. So that would be interesting. I mean, Andrew Yang, of course, is kind of the internet candidate anyway, so him performing well on a poll on a Reddit makes sense. But I don't know. It is interesting though to see that he's passing above. Maybe people don't even know more about Reddit than I do. I thought Reddit was a very big Bernie Sanders. Here we go. I'm pulling it right now. Bernie Sanders thing. So I'll do it live with you guys right here on the stream. So let's vote on the Reddit straw poll right now. We'll rig the election. Who won the second night debate? Oh,
Wait.
that's night one, not night two.
Yeah.
I thought that was the night two discussion thread. Well, you guys just saw me fail live on stream trying to do that, but
We still love you, bro. We still love you, man.
yeah, no, this is. Hold on, I'm gonna check something. Yeah, no, got it wrong. Anyway, guys, anyone else can figure out how you do that for me? Let me know. That'd be great. I'm admittedly kind of inept when it comes to that platform. But again, though, here is the total talk time for anyone who missed the debate. You can kind of see what happened in the talk time. It's kind of a little bit, Yang spoke less than anyone again. Not great. You'd like to see him speak more. But when he spoke, I thought he said great things. Again, that's my big takeaway. My biggest takeaway from Yang really is when he did get to speak, he said a lot. I thought he had a great closing statement. The applause for him was louder than it was for anyone else. There, of course, was some obvious Yang gang in the crowd there who was really bringing the heat every time he said something. So that played a role in it. But still, the crowd was very receptive to what he had to say. And I thought it was a good debate for him. I thought he had a very... It's a strategy. That's the thing I think. So it's like that is his plan. He's not going to attack. And because of that, he's not getting attacked. And I do think part of it is because he does have some good ideas. I mean, I think most of us agree he has good ideas. So when he brings up a position... it's not easy to attack it, and I think candidates are like, you know what? Because honestly, man, like, unless you have your numbers right, and you push somebody on, I think your UBI plan's not going to work, and it's like, Yang's got his numbers straight. He'll come at you and explain why it's going to work and why it could and why you're wrong, and I think because of that, it kind of leads the people not really looking to challenge him on it, so he doesn't have to defend himself, and that's why Joe Biden spoke the most. That and I mean that's one of the two things I want to really kind of bring up again. I've said it before. Some of you guys have been here for a while. I haven't said this before, but what really stuck out to me was how Kamala Harris got to avoid the questions she really didn't want to answer. Specifically from the perspective of an Andrew Yang fan, Andrew Yang was asked questions that seemed almost tailor-made to attack him where he's weakest. I mean, really, Andrew Yang. I see him a lot of times on Twitter and online get a lot of heat because he just refuses to play identity politics. They ask him the identity politics question on the gender pay gap. They give him that. He does okay. They ask him foreign policy, Iran deal questions. I thought I did okay, but again, like, I'm proposing to give everyone $1,000 a month, and I'm saying that automation and AI are a huge problem. I'm saying that your retail stores are closing, jobs are going to be gone, people do, and that's not worth questions. You want to ask about the Iran deal? I get it's important for the president to ask questions on, but like, you finally get to Andrew Yang after ignoring him 15 minutes, an Iran deal. That's what we want to ask you about. Like, it was really weird, especially when Kamala Harris, like, I actually really want to know, yes, Kamala Harris, what do you think about the immigration and how we should be enforcing the laws there? She actually has a kind of interesting history with that. Kind of fascinated to hear her. We didn't get a chance. They didn't ask her. She didn't press. They let her hide on that. And you would think, if you were moderating that, I mean, I wish I had the picture. I'd show it again. I had a picture up on stream the entire time of Kamala Harris, arms around ICE officers at the border. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying it would be tough for her to be put into an environment where she would have to be very critical of somebody doing exactly what she's doing there, which is what was happening when Tulsi pressed her on her record and saying, well, hey, what about when you locked up, when you let people, how about when a federal judge had to say you had to let someone off death row? How about when you arrested a person a day for marijuana offenses every day you were in office? Like, how about all that stuff? And she comes back with, I was elected. Like, okay, I guess you were democratically elected, but still, I mean, it was a really kind of bizarre way to put it. It was kind of, I don't like using the word bias. CNN clearly either, I don't know, didn't know what they were doing and it just happened to work out for Kamala. Or they clearly were saying, okay, here's what we don't want to ask Kamala. Here's what we want to ask these people. Because Andrew Yang attacked no one attacked Andrew Yang. I think part of it is people know there's no way every single one of these campaigns and every single one of these groups are just kind of like clueless. Some of them have to know, hey, this Andrew Yang guy here. I'm going to pull a story up for you guys right now. Some of you guys might have seen this. It was from Yahoo, where Andrew Yang is, I think, here we go. According to Yahoo Finance. So by the way, Yahoo Finance recently has just come out and had a lot of very positive stuff to say about Andrew Yang. But Andrew Yang is among top 3 Democratic presidential candidates based on new web traffic data. So tech entrepreneur and presidential candidate Andrew Yang ranks 3rd among Democratic presidential candidates when it comes to traffic to campaign websites, according to new numbers compiled by analytics from SimilarWeb. And you could see right here, Kamala Harris goes way up because everyone's like, what's Kamala really about? Pete for America. Pete Buttigieg does really well. Joe Biden, be looking Yang 2020 is right there, 3rd overall. It's really interesting to see how Andrew Yang has been able to, and you notice it didn't jump up at any point. He's kept it pretty steady. We showed before the other day, he doesn't spend as much on Twitter ads as anyone else running. Yet he gets mileage at what he does, man. Like, he doesn't mess around. He's not wasting time. He's really getting a lot out of what he puts in, and there's a lot of, I try to highlight it whenever I see it. If you guys ever do anything grassroots related, please, PSP Radio 1, it should be in the description of this live stream. Go to PSP Radio 1 on Twitter, and please just send us any pictures or videos or stories of anything. I'm just out there in the kind of grassroots movement. Sorry, I gotta mute this 1 second. Hypocrite in chief, I love it. Just please send us stuff. We love to see it. We love to see what's going on, because that is how this happens. Again, the Yahoo Finance, I think they had a guy on, I wish I had the article in front of me, but the way I believe it, he was like an executive of a marketing firm, digital marketing firm. He's being approached by a lot of campaigns, and he was saying, look, these campaigns are very advanced now. You're seeing you're seeing PhDs, you're seeing statisticians, you're seeing these really kind of like smart, big name people brought into these campaigns. And he said, and Andrew Yang's killing it. He's like, it's amazing the campaign he's running. And it really is. You look at what Andrew Yang's able to do, not spending the amount of money anyone else is spending, still raising a lot, but being more kind of smart with how he spends it, and getting the least amount of time to talk in the debate. Again, no one even bothered attacking him, because I think I said his ideas are really good, so they're kind of hard to attack. There's not as much opening for him. It was a really, I don't know, I think it was a very strong performance from Andrew Yang. Didn't speak a lot, but when he did, his words mattered. Tulsi Gabbard, a lot of you guys are fans of. I like Tulsi Gabbard. People disagree with me on this. I didn't dislike it. I was just confused by her closing statement. She talked mostly about nuclear missiles and the threat of nuclear holocaust and missile threat. To me, it was just kind of comes bizarre. I didn't fully understand it. But that was a standout moment. There was a moment that was really funny. Someone asked before who the most cringe candidate was. There was a moment where Kristen Gillibrand just kept going at Joe Biden about an op-ed he wrote years ago. And eventually Joe Biden just said, look, I don't stand by anything I wrote there. I disagree with that now. And it was like, her whole big, mic drop moment on him, he just took it from her and said, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I don't agree with that anymore. You're right. That was dumb. I shouldn't have said it. Like, oh, I thought I had prepared this thing for you. Oh, they got a Booker on CNN right now.
We agreed on how the urgency.
So I'll put that on. Biden, you're right. Biden did at one point touch Booker. I thought it was really funny, actually. He kind of referred to him as the former president. He was like, oh, a future president, kind of being nice and joking around with him, and gives him a nice friendly touch. And then Joe Biden says one thing, Cory Booker, excuse me, sir, please not be interrupted. It's like, wow, dude, he was actually being really nice with you. He just waited for a moment to attack him. That was kind of funny.
You still had sort of a smile on your
Yeah, I mean, no voting record no voting record impacts you in a lot of ways in a campaign, right? You can't run on it, but people can attack you on it. But because people can't attack you on it, it's harder to question you on it, and you have less to fall back on. So it's kind of, a lot of good and bad of having no voting record. Like, for example, having a political record is not to Kamala Harris any favors. People can keep bringing it up. Well, Kamala, how come you were putting parents in jail when their kids were delinquent to school? Why would you do that, Kamala Harris? And she has to answer those questions. They're tough questions. She doesn't really. I didn't notice that as well. There was a lot of the exact same tight shot of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden standing next to each other. I saw that shot. Oh, what do you know? Go to the NBC homepage. What do you see? Front and center, the exact shot I'm talking about. Kamala and Biden. Oh, sorry, I gotta put it here. Kamala and Biden. Here's what I'm looking for. They use that shot so much. The first 15, 20, 40, 30 minutes probably. Every time I looked up, that's what I'm seeing.
That the senator's talking about.
Oh, they're talking about the touch right now on CNN. The touch between Joe Biden and Cory Booker, which I don't know. But it was... We have a part of living in the White House. Love that. I'm going to Clorox the Oval Office. Haha. Once again, nobody stood out as the adult. Biden a little bit. But Biden was getting attacked so much, and he was so... he didn't have that fire to respond. I don't know. It was weird. Yeah, it was a lot of very... I guess that also makes sense. They wanted to make sure they had good angles, so they used a lot of tight shots. Still, I've seen more dynamic camera work in events like this. They could have... there was, again, for people who didn't actually see the debate, who joined later, there was once again weird audio issues. Not as bad as the NBC ones where microphones were off and all kinds of stuff, but just weird sound issues that they kept having, which I'm sure we had sound issues tonight, so I'm not trying to be too critical, but just weird. Two organizations now, two different debates, they had the same issues. I forgot who it was. Someone actually brought up, can we stop talking about things? I was thinking it was Jay Inslee. He's can we stop talking about things that happened 50, 60 years ago and start talking about things people actually care about now? So that I like that point because it's busing. Really, we're talking about do Biden and Harris need this busing moment again? We just went over this last debate and they tried to do it again. So that and it showed. It turned out with them having the most talk time once again. And Cory Booker's next. I mean, they have Cory Booker. They're highlighting him on CNN right now. People on CNN said he won the debate. I do not agree with Cory Booker winning the debate. But. Okay, they had a pause. Sorry, I thought it was a dramatic pause. Michael Bennett. Sorry, it's Michael Bennett who said that. Eyebrows, as I love to refer to him. But yeah, sorry about that. I when there's that group at the bottom, Bennett, Blasio, Inslee. I can mix all of them up. Because they all. I mean, I don't even remember De Blasio speaking for 10 minutes, guys, or 9 minutes. I really don't. Tulsi I thought Tulsi had a good choice of outfit. I thought the white really made her pop on screen. Kamala's gray didn't work as good. That was interesting. Because I mean, the visual thing is we spoke about it earlier. I remember one of the classic things I was taught about political debates was there was the legendary debate where Richard Nixon against JFK, and JFK won. The television audience said JFK won. The radio audience said Nixon won because JFK looked better. I think, once again, if you were to just put, looks up, yeah, I think Tulsi Gabbard had a great choice of outfit. Andrew Yang going no tie. Andrew Yang going no tie again. This is one thing I want to actually talk about. This is kind of funny to me. So, I'll see if I can find it. Andrew Yang had on social media, it's probably on my Twitter account. See if I can put it on my Twitter account. He posted a video... or was on Instagram. Anyway, about not wearing a tie at the debate, saying, "Hey, we're doing the walkthrough. I'm wearing a tie right now. Should I wear a tie or not?" And he was thinking about wearing a tie during the debate. Anyway, he comes on stage, and a lot of people noticed, "Hey, he isn't wearing a tie. I thought he was wearing a tie because he was wearing one earlier." Well, He actually found a way to work the no tie look into his closing statement, and that was really cool. I thought it definitely came across as before the debate. He's trying to think, what should my close be, and he's like, you know what? That's gonna. So it looked like a planned move, but I liked it. I liked that there was thought process behind it. Yeah, I like seeing this stuff, man. It's dumb, but it is important. I do think not wearing a tie and then not addressing it correctly really bothered some of the kind of media elite types. Like, oh, he's so much better than us. He doesn't wear a tie. Because I don't know if I thought this was funny. Someone happened to send me a link to a video. It was a video of Donald Trump and Jeb Bush from the campaign trail going back and forth. And Donald Trump said something like, look at this guy. He can't even wear a suit and tie. He's running for president. I think that kind of mentality exists in that kind of, CNN, MSNBC media elite. Where like, who is this guy that can't even bother to show up to debate in a suit and tie trying to run for president? And so I like how he defied them, but then referenced it and said, stop talking about this. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter I wear a tie or not. So I thought that was really cool. Oh, the closing was from Reddit? Really?
I take a vote at a time, and you know this.
I didn't know that. Yeah, Bernie Sanders, according to Reddit, won the first debate. I thought this was a poll for the second debate. I don't know why that was a poll for the first debate. Shoot. I'd like to see what the Reddit straw poll was. I forgot another one that was the... remember, Tulsi famously won the Trudge Report straw poll, so we'll pull that one up. Let's see. That is funny. You guys, anyone who was following might, but Drudge Report, notably a very conservative-leaning website. Who do you think won the debate according to the Drudge Report audience? Well, I'll click Andrew Yang. I'm a big Andrew Yang fan. Oh, what do you know? Once again, Tulsi Gabbard. So that's funny to me that that Tulsi Gabbard stands out again as number one on Drudge Report. This is 2 debates in a row now. I thought her takedown of Harris is one of the strongest pushbacks Harris received this political cycle. Someone finally saying, "Hey, here's your record, Harris. You better defend this." And she really didn't defend it very well. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I thought that was really cool. But once again, we have Tulsi Gabbard and then Andrew Yang in second place, and then clearly the Republican, or not Republican, but the conservative audience has no love for Harris or Booker or Bennett or de Blasio. Actually, it's hilarious. De Blasio is typically one of the least liked, and he somehow is above Inslee and Gillibrand and other people you think that they would be less high profile than him. So that's funny. I'll see if I can pull up a few more of these early polls and just go over them with you guys for a little bit longer and see, what are people saying. And dude, they're going to keep pushing Harris. I really do think. I really think they're going to keep pushing Harris. I don't agree with it, but I think they're going to do it. I don't know if it'll work. I don't think it will work, to be frank, but I think they're going to try to push it through, man. They want Harris. I don't know why. I think they just feel like we can work with her. She's good. Let's keep her. Let's not shake the boat. But like, what does she do to inspire people, man? You know what I mean? Like, I really don't know if she inspire people at all. It's really weird. Pence balances out the impact. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing you have to remember, is that it's not just Trump running, it's Trump and Pence. Like, we do talk running mates on the Democratic side. Trump has his running mate, and it's Mike Pence. And, Mike Pence is the perfect vice president in the point that, like, you know what? There's nothing for Republican voters to really dislike about Pence if they like Trump. So he doesn't work against them at all, and he works for them in some areas. Because here's the thing, too, man. Like, who's going to be these people's running mate? 20 people are running for president. So someone's going to drop out and be a running mate and be a vice president, right? Like who are you actually going to get to be your VP? Especially if all you do is go on debate stage and say that your opponent's an idiot and he's terrible. He's not going to be your VP. Like, who's actually going to... who's left to be a vice president? Everybody ran for president. So this many people staying in this long, I don't like it. It's just going to be a kind of lopsided... if the Democrats fight each other and don't put together a cohesive, strong ticket, and it's getting close to like generals coming up and they still don't have their stuff together, there's no way they can win, Well, what's funny, Mark, is I've actually seen a lot of people bouncing around the idea, ironically enough, of Tucker Carlson being vice president for Donald Trump in 2020. Honestly, I think in the election it would help him, but I don't. That just sounds so crazy to me. I can't see that happening. But Donald Trump, man, who knows, right? Like, who knows with the way politics is working out? This guy's in office. Maybe that would happen, but I can't imagine that. The thing I'm going to be most interested in, and I guess this will be kind of a fun thing to look at. So, I'm gonna pull up the Real Clear Politics aggregate poll. If you watch the videos, you see this a lot. I love going back to this as a resource, but I want to look at and see right now. This is like the last time we're gonna have polls released before the debates happened. Any poll released after today will probably be after the debates. So going into that night of the second debate, we'll start seeing more data shift. Kamala Harris is already. This is one thing that I've been noticing for a while. If you look at this just graph, Kamala Harris she's the gold line. She kind of faltered, got that big bump end of June, first debate, and then just squandered it. And I don't think tonight helped her at all. I mean, what's actually kind of interesting is Harris was struggling at about 7% before that big debate bump. She's back down to 10. She's almost back where she was before. It's done nothing. Well, Elizabeth Warren is actually basically just taking Bernie voters. I mean, it's just you can look, and there's a direct correlation between Bernie dropping and her rising for the most part, some slight differential, but she's basically taking her voters. And Biden is just kind of, for some reason, hanging around. I can't explain why. I think it's just so far out. People are still just kind of like, I guess Joe Biden, why not? I don't mind him. Sure, I liked Obama. I think that's where we're at. Let me see. So was the first night of the debate? The first night of the debate was much better. The first night of the debate was a lot of the same stuff. There was a lot of, I feel like everyone's looking for their mic drop moment, And when you do, there's nothing cringy and worse than a forced mic drop moment than Speaking of, Mr. Booker is on right now. His weird I am Spartacus. And dude, if it doesn't happen organically. I hate to use wrestling as an example, but same thing, dude. If you don't do it right, you can see professional wrestlers. You just look like a corny idiot. I think too many politicians, they go up there and try to have their debate moment, and they just look like a phony idiot. So that most people avoided this debate. Gillibrand at the moment with Biden, I thought was hilarious. But aside from that was about it. All right, so I'm trying to see if I can pull up just maybe one or two more debate, straw polls, just kind of quick initial reaction polls. So the debate polls. See. Oh, cool. Right back to Real Clear Politics again. That's a website I do like to use. They seem to aggregate stuff. This is last night's debate, though, unfortunately. They have John Delaney listed as one of the winners as well, which I do not agree with. I don't think John Delaney has had anything work really good for him at all. But I got a Donald Trump ad because Donald Trump's spending money. Okay. Heavy.com. Heavy.com, I believe, is a very left-leaning publication. Maybe not very, but at least somewhat. Wow. That's fun. Heavy.com has... Oh, sorry. I'm sure the suspense is killing you guys. Let me flip it over screen real quick. According to the Heavy.com viewership poll, we'll vote Andrew Yang. We'll rig it up. Andrew Yang, number 1. Bill de Blasio. See, I did tell you guys, it was weird. Oh, sorry about that. It was weird for Bill de Blasio to be so high up in the Drudge Report poll, because generally speaking, he's the least liked when polled. I guess mostly amongst Democrats, he's least liked. I guess amongst Republicans, they don't view him as any different than any others. But that's really funny to me. Andrew Yang, again, this is Heavy.com, this current poll, that Andrew Yang once again took it in. So that's really cool. Yeah, Marianne Williamson's weird to me. I like Marianne, I like some of the stuff she says. Some of the stuff she says really weirds me out, though. I don't know what to take from her. Yang, in closing, basically harped on freedom dividend. Kind of talked a lot about the idea of we're losing jobs that we've had for a very long time, important jobs. And then he plugged his website and said, go to yang2020.com and put in your area code. And they have a cool plug-in there. So that was his big thing. This was a little bit less weird rabbit hole discussions that led nowhere. Julian Castro didn't get into they weren't falling over each other to one up each other on how much more progressive they could be. They learned from last debate, and everyone wasn't falling to say. I mean, I know a lot of people have pointed to the fact that I think it was Rashida Tlaib recently said that we need to have a $20 minimum wage. There wasn't anything like that in that, there was in the last debate where, oh, you think we should do this? Well, I think we should do this plus 5, even more. There wasn't that as much. That was good. There was still, Joe Biden was remarkably polite when it came to the moderators, and they said, Mr. Vice President, he just stopped. Everyone else just kind of ran over them. Andrew Yang, similar. Andrew Yang finished his thought at least. Biden, literally just, stop. That was weird. Yeah, actually, Andrew Yang tweeted out during the debate that same thing, that the only way that automation will get brought up on the stage is if I vote in it, or if I bring it up. Also, political polls on Twitter. It's a political account with 28,000 followers, 1,500 votes. Andrew Yang, 38%, number one. So Andrew Yang is leading in a lot of these early polls. Like the Drudge Report audience loves Tulsi. So Tulsi did great in the Drudge Report one. That's just to be expected, I believe. But yeah, that's it. And we're probably going to be wrapping up pretty soon here, guys. We've been going for a few hours now. But yeah, and just any last questions about anything you guys saw, anything you guys heard, and any questions you wish you would have seen asked to the candidates that weren't? Yeah, automation's a big one. I don't have minimum wage. Yeah, why don't we have that, man? We can afford it.
So you're telling me unless I go back in a time capsule, you're not going to believe it.
Yeah, it is weird to not talk. I mean, Joe Biden has talked about Andrew Yang. Like, hey, I like that you're bringing up this, like, fourth industrial revolution. This is a real thing. Like, someone needs to talk about it. I'm glad you're talking about it. Yeah. Who are we voting for? Cardin's out. He can't speak for it now. Honestly, man, I'm not voting for anyone quite just yet. I support Andrew Yang and I want him to win, but I don't know. If I had to vote, I'd vote for Andrew Yang. At the same time, though, I gotta admit, there is something about, like, whatever things currently are, like, the incumbent does have the, like, I would almost always, there's a part of me that almost always would vote incumbent just because I know what to expect. But still, I support Andrew Yang really hard. The only candidate I've donated to is Andrew Yang, so he'd probably the one to support. That was, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Kilimanjaro. The first debate, they asked people about gun control a lot. They didn't bring it up once in this debate. I don't believe, or at least directly. No one actually said anything directly about what do you like. No one was asked how should we reduce gun violence in this debate at all, point blank. That was interesting. I wonder why. I'm not sure why. I don't know why. But that wasn't brought up. That was really weird. I wonder if healthcare was the healthcare led the first maybe 20-30 minutes. It started off with healthcare, and the healthcare immediately became a Kamala and a Biden show. So Kamala and Biden went on about healthcare for like 20-30 minutes, and then they just didn't bring it up anymore. So yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I'll flip back over. So right now, currently, you're looking at this is currently the Heavy.com poll. You can see Andrew Yang was number one. I'm going to show really quickly again the Drudge Report poll. That is Gabbard 1, Yang 2. So Drudge Report, Heavy. And then back to total talk time, and you will see that Joe Biden talked forever in this debate. It really was something else. So yeah, like I said, guys, we're probably going to wrap up in the next few minutes. Cardin, any takeaways you have from the debate? Any big things you want to kind of bring up?
What I've done is that, I have to tell you, Anderson,
No, Cardin?
listening to people.
What?
Anything from the debate you would like to, before we wrap up? Anything?
Sorry,
any takeaways?
I was intrigued watching
No, I saw it.
Kamala.
Oh, I missed that. If someone could send me on Twitter what Chris Matthews said.
Any of my thoughts? My only thoughts are I fear for the future of America if this is the hysteria that reigns. I mean, I see why all the gamers online just say it's a clown world and they check out. I can see why the exhausted majority calls themselves the exhausted majority and just checks out, because this was unadulterated insanity. I'm glad there's people like Andrew Yang on stage. I think there's a natural impediment to him getting airtime that is both personality based and an obvious bias against him from the corporate news network. But I mean, my heart breaks just thinking the Democrat Party went from being the party that raised me, the people that had solutions, the watchdogs of the corporations, the watchdogs of Mother Earth, and the people that always proposed good alternate ideas. They would say, hey, we shouldn't burn fossil fuels, but we should also do this. The futuristic kind of what would be considered the modern techies, okay, we're all liberals. Back when the Democrat Party was liberal. And now this is just Bolshevik activism, okay?
I think
But no, seriously, they were... They were arguing over who wanted more Medicare for all after they got done nothing but the entire, half of America that lives above the poverty line, nothing but racist, and then began vilifying Joe Biden for having spoken with a segregationist senator once. And all that hysteria is A, inauthentic, B, fake outrage, and C, out voices of people that have solutions for real problems such as Andrew Yang. So except for some sound bites from Tulsi Gabbard, some sound bites from Bennett and actually Inslee, and actually some sound bites from Biden, I was completely unimpressed and a little bit scared. I'll be honest with you, a little bit scared. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess that yes. So I'm definitely trying to get this saved for you guys. Yeah, that's it. So just we're gonna wrap up here probably in the next 2 or 3 minutes. You know what, dude? I would love to see WWE host a debate, man.
And I love Fashionably Straight saying, Cardin, solid take. Thank you, Fashionably Straight. We're pals now. Of course, I don't know if this is a girl or a guy, so I'll just say pal. I was going to say we're bros now because there's a 70% chance on YouTube that we're bros. But in case Fashionably Straight is a female, now you're just my sister from another mister. You know what I'm saying? Or a brother from another mother, whichever one you are, my man. Or my woe man. Keep going. That was a horrible analogy. Forget that last 10 seconds. That was the stupidest thing I ever said in my life.
I was just gonna say, yeah. So if you guys want, like I said, please, if you want to reach out to us, follow us on Twitter and reach out to us on Twitter. It'd be at PSP Radio 1 on Twitter. If you guys ever have anything you want to show us, tell us. Our DMs are always open, and that's if you want to get a response, that's where you'll find me. So that is where I would say if you guys want to get any stories to us, anything you're seeing, anything you want to see us talk about, either tweet at us there or DM us there. And that's about it. Honestly, this was our first stream. We're probably going to try to do some more. We had a lot of fun tonight. I always love hanging out with you guys.
Emperor Xander, Cardin is my bro, and Sean Sterling. Hope you guys do this for the next debates. Good job tonight.
No,
we got to. This is fun, man.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely try to work in more debates. Not more debates. More live streams in general. I have a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. Dude, I have to say, I said it. I'm going to bring it up again. Donald Trump, the way he understood WWE helped him win the election. If you understand the psychology it takes to be a good professional wrestler, you could be a good politician. It's all the same nonsense, and Donald Trump nailed it. So yeah, I definitely can see Jesse Ventura. Hey, dude, there's a reason why Jesse Ventura won political office. The Demon Kane won political office. Glenn Jacobs. It's happened before. Donald Trump, WWE Hall of Famer. So people sleep on it. People sleep on it, but I believe in that stuff. So yeah, that's probably the last thing. I think a Fox debate could have been interesting. Because they would have had at least bias, right? Like you could say maybe Fox would want to promote bad candidates to hurt the Democrats. But I don't know, man. I think it'd be easier for them to just let them talk. That's just not the way conservatives really generally think. Conservatives are so obsessed with ideas, they would just be like, oh, their ideas are so wrong, let them express them. Like they just are so obsessed with ideas that they probably wouldn't even think that way. But it's my issues. Making fun of WWE, yeah. No, yeah. I wonder. You know what? That's one of the few things I don't know Andrew Yang's position on is WWE.
To not just give fancy speeches or be in a legislative body and give speeches on the floor, but actually doing the work of being in the position to use the power that I had to form a system.
Thanks, man. Yeah. So this is like I said, guys. If you want anything you want to reach out and let us know, please just reach out on Twitter. It's in the description. If you ever want to support the show, we have PayPal link there. Honestly, any cent helps. It just helps us spend more time making videos for you guys. No, you guys like doing.
Throw it to me so I can end it.
And we love it. And yeah, so you'll take us out.
This is Problem Solver Politics.